different side control chokes. Kind of the important part again is anytime you're attacking the gi is the deceptibility with it. If I just start really manipulating the gi, especially up in the collar, a lot of times that's predictable and people can start defending real easy. So a lot of times when I like setting up the chokes, I like either using their lapel or the tail of their lapel or the tail of my gi. So we'll look at, especially like if you've been rolling for a couple minutes and stuff's kind of loose, they get real easy to set up. And so that's when I'll really start looking at them. If I have to come in here and like really start untucking Joe's gi, same thing. He's gonna start understanding that there's probably an attack or something going. First one we'll look at, I think it's called Twizzler is what I've heard it called the most. But if I get into side control here, and especially if Joe's got this top frame in, that's really a good spot for him. And so I'll really start setting the choke up that way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the bottom of my gi and I try and cover it all the way up so he can't really see it in my hand. Same thing, if he starts seeing that coming through and I start feeding, that starts drawing attention to the tail, right? So once I get my tail in, I need to come over his chest but through his arm, okay? And so if he's got frames in, that can be kind of hard to do. So what I like to do is really start putting some pressure in here and kind of turning Joe, because usually the reaction I get is he starts to flatten back out because he needs to shrimp towards me, and then I can slide through that gap that gets created there, right? He doesn't want to turn away from me so I don't take his back, so a lot of times he'll start turning back in, creates just enough of a gap there. Now I just pass that tail off, keep my palm down, start to flatten Joe out. This hand blocks his hip, top knee up by his ear, and rotate, starting to look that way. The more rotation I can get, the better. I straighten this elbow out, my hand kind of rotates, right? So now my forearm's cutting off this side, lapel of my gi, or tail of my gi is cutting off that bottom side, all right? So again, especially if he feels like he's in good position and he's got his frames, right? I can grab the tail of my gi, I put a little bit of pressure in as I start to bring this over. That slides right through. Now this hand comes out, right? And now I can just get this regular underhook. And I can even sit here like this, right? There's not a lot of a feel of a threat here until I start tightening up. If I'm here, that's not on his neck, it's okay. Hand blocks, top knee goes by his ear. Rotating through that way. Notice I kind of put my kickstand out here just so I can get that rotation and open my hips up to turn my chest away. Can you see it?